Welcome to Sometimes There's Side Eye, a podcast about two friends having real and unfiltered conversations about dogs and people. Listen as we talk about our lives with dogs, training, behavior, share some laughs, and a whole lot of banter. I'm Heather.
And I'm Christy. What are we talking about this week, Heather?
This week, we are going to do, this might be the first time we've done this, a little follow-up to an episode that we just did, because I feel like we used a term a lot and we just
We
threw
do.
it around.
Yeah, we do.
So, in our last episode, Be Careful What You Wish For, we used the term drive a lot.
Mhm.
And I feel like we sort of have to circle back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, okay, well, let's start with what little Mr. Google says that drive is. Okay, so a dog's drives are their biological impulses that motivate them to act in certain ways. These drives can include behaviors like chasing, guarding, and retrieving.
Mhm.
What made me think about it was when I was editing our episode and listening back, we said over and over again that Tiago doesn't have drive. I said it,
Mhm.
which is partially true. He doesn't have prey drive,
Right.
but he has an intense drive to please me
Right.
and an intense drive to interact with people.
Mhm.
So I just felt like we needed to kind of talk about drive a little bit.
Yeah,
Thoughts, Christy?
I think you are right. No, when you brought this up, I thought, oh yeah, we did throw around the word drive a lot, and we just worked off an assumption of that everybody was on the same page as us, which that happens a lot in the dog world,
Yeah.
and so I think it's great to go back and define what we meant, and then how drive can look different in different dogs. Because
Yeah.
I said Jackson has drive,
What
but
does that mean?
he's no Malinois. Like,
Yeah.
he's not as drivey as drivey dogs are. And so I just, we just keep piling on drive
Yes.
on drive on drive.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
if you think about Jackson and what drives him, what motivates Jackson? What is it? What are the things?
Yeah, he also has a desire to please.
Yeah.
That's a big desire for him. A food drive is
Mhm.
big for him.
Mhm.
And it's funny because prey drive, yes, there is an aspect of prey drive, but it's more. I would not even define it as prey drive, because if he catches up to an animal that he's chasing, he's not going to do anything. He's
Yeah.
going to then engage in play. So he has
The
a
drive to
drive
chase.
to chase, a chase
Yeah.
drive, but
Yeah.
not a prey drive, which
Yeah.
is an interesting combination. Whereas Lucy definitely had a prey drive.
Trin has a prey drive to murder.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. Plastic bags. She wants to murder plastic bags and lizards.
Well,
And
okay.
lizards.
The lizards. Well, and I wouldn't put a bunny in our yard.
Oh, yeah, probably not that.
No, I listened back to the episode and I was like, we were tossing that around and
Yeah.
using it in 75 different ways. And it really, really, I mean, it suits, right? But if you're
Mhm.
not really defining, well, what does that even mean? Then, it's not fair for me to say Tiago does not have drive. It's just that the drives that he does have are compatible with me. Ooh,
Mhm.
there's one. Are
Yeah.
compatible with me. So that's
Mhm.
amazing, which probably adds to our relationship.
Yeah.
And the things that the drives that he does have are can be easier to sort of manage and mold. When you have a dog who has food drive and drive for people, drive to engage with you, drive to please you, I mean, come on. of course you're going to sit around being like, that dog's great. Actually, there's probably people out there that are like, that dog's shit. But because it's not what they want. But for me, it is perfect. And
I don't think anybody's actually saying that, but if
well,
they are, come talk to me. I have
yeah.
some words for you.
But like it also then did make me sit here and be like, okay, let's think about, you know how I'm always like, oh, Trin doesn't give a fuck about me. And you're like, yes, she does, and blah, blah,
She
blah.
does.
But what I really mean is that I asked for confidence. I asked for more prey drive.
Hmm.
I asked for more independence and I
Hmm.
got it. And
Hmm.
that those things together are a dangerous combination.
Right.
You have a dog who has no fear and is fast as fuck. And what it takes to build that people connection,
Mhm.
all of that stuff that came so naturally for Tiago,
Yeah.
there's work to be put in there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, when you're thinking about drive and what you want,
Hmm.
oh boy,
Yeah.
you have to kind of piece that all together and realize how it might come out.
Yeah. That, I mean, kind of goes back to that episode of,
Yeah.
drive can come in so many different forms
Yeah.
too. And that's why it's so easy if your dog has food drive, the biological drive for food, and is motivated by that. It's so easy then for that to tip into resource guarding of food.
Mm.
But it doesn't mean it has to either,
No, that's true.
which is so fantastic about, drive. It can motivate a dog without tipping it
Yeah.
into a problem.
Yeah, because I have three different, very different dogs who are all very motivated by food that
Hmm.
I
Oh, yeah.
encourage. And I
Mhm.
do not like, I can throw treats on the floor and scatter with all three dogs there and not worry that I'm going to have a problem. Now, I would not do the same thing in my house with Trin at this point with a stick
Oh,
because that she would guard.
oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah. Yep. So
Yeah,
there,
and I do think she has gotten grumpy with
she gets
Jackson
grumpy.
over a
I know. And she likes her sticks, man.
stick, like her stick.
She got drive for that stick. I don't know what that's about, but there's little things that I like seeing her, and I'm like, it's not food resource. I have never seen her be a little guardy about a food resource,
Mhm.
but novel items, novel
Oh,
nature
novel.
items, which I
Mhm.
think is interesting when you think about the prey drive aspect of it. Like just sit
Mhm.
here and I'm like, prey drive and novel items in nature make her bitchy. I'm like, that is
Mm.
interesting to me.
Yeah.
Does
Oh,
it
that's
smell like prey? Does it, like, I don't know.
or is it just
It's
she
in
just likes
nature
sticks?
and yeah.
Like some people, what, in the 90s collected precious moments? Maybe
Oh,
it's like her precious moments. We're a throwback to 1942.
I thought you were gonna be like people who like collect rocks or like a
Oh,
beach
rocks. That would have been a way better
or
comparison.
like beach glass, and you come out with precious moments. Yes, Christy, I know exactly what you're talking about. I did not collect them, but I know what they are.
Can anyone tell what my grandma collected? Wasn't rocks.
So
Why
funny.
did it go to precious
I
moments?
have no idea, but they sure did have cute little dog ones.
They did have some dog
Yeah.
ones,
So,
yes.
but yeah, I think I don't know. I just when I listen back to the episode and I listen to what we're talking about, and I was like, I totally know what we're talking about, but does everyone else know understand what we're talking
Yeah.
about?
And what's interesting, I think, too, actually, my precious moments has a point, um, is at the time they were monetarily worth something.
Yeah.
Just because we don't understand the value of something
Ooh.
doesn't mean it's not valuable to our dog. And that
Ooh.
value creates that drive for that thing.
That is so, so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we might not understand why the dog has like so much drive to fetch the thing unless they're a lab,
Mhm.
then it makes sense to me. But But if it is important to them, then we need to like honor that and respect it, or also train them not to murder. But
Yeah. Or work around it. Yeah.
or work
Work with it.
around it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mold it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
work really hard to like mold it into something else.
Yeah.
Huh.
And I think that's probably why you had so much success with Tito, even though you did decided not to continue doing barn hunt with him and those things.
Mhm.
But you had success with him because his drive was to no?
Do we say we had success? I mean, we barely made it through our rat novice.
Oh, I thought you made it further. Never mind.
No. No. You know, he you know what? But seriously, it's interesting because I said this before the episode started. I said to Christy, I have no doubt that if someone like Marissa, who we had on the show, but she did our opener for our sports episode, somebody like Marissa could take Tiago and turn his people pleasing into drive for whatever. I am just not one motivated, two a motivated enough trainer. I'm not going to say a good enough trainer. Do I have the skills now? No. Could I figure out the skills and work it out?
Of
Yes.
course.
But like I am not motivated enough to figure that puzzle out
Yeah, because
because
it's not what it's not what you're driving for.
but bum. No, like I looked at it and was just like, I mean, could I build it? Yes. Does he really want to do it naturally? No. Do I need to do it with him? No. And so that's where I landed. But then I look at his obedience and his heel behaviors and that stuff and I'm like, "Oh, boy's got drive all day long to do those things." And that was the thing that I
Oh.
was like, he has drive to please me and do that thing.
Mhm.
But that is a true relationship with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting going off of that. I actually was talking to somebody else about obedience and rally, and I said, right now Jackson is enjoying the chasey, the
Yeah.
fast-paced, all these drivey.
I knew you were going to say it. I was waiting for it.
I mean, it could have been the air quotes
There
I
it
raised before I said
goes.
drivey, those types of things. And I said, in a couple years, we'll probably do some of these
Yeah.
obedience and things because I think he'll be great at it.
Mhm.
I just, they're not super important to me right now.
Yeah.
And I want to get the most out of his youth as
Yeah.
I can. Yeah,
Yes. I hear
and enjoy
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just really wanted to kind of like take a moment and circle back to make sure that we were clear.
Mhm.
And also because I just had some tag on thoughts.
Yeah.
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 So,
And I think a lot of times when we hear drive or drivey, it is really, I don't know, is it related to, I don't know what it, okay, like how would you define, Lazara,
yeah,
who is,
a dog at barn hunt.
yeah, a dog at barn hunt who is in it to win. Like as soon as you release her, she is on it, hunting,
Yes.
screaming when she finds the rat,
Yeah.
all the things. I
That's prey
watch her
drive.
and I think, yeah, my daughter doesn't have that. Like
That's
that's
prey
not what
drive.
my dog does.
That is
Okay.
serious prey drive. Yeah.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, that dog is one of the only, and when I say one of the only, one of only three dogs I've ever seen get a super bonus in one of the games in Barn Hunt because she found all eight rats with 30 seconds to spare.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's that dog, and she's no spring chicken. She's like 8 years old.
She's 7. I just asked. Yeah.
7, yeah.
Yeah.
So to me, I would define that as prey drive.
Okay. And
Yeah.
the prey is that finding that rat and
Yeah.
getting that tube.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and like I said to you, okay, so Trin ran Fast Cat this last weekend,
Mhm.
and she, for the first time, grabbed onto the bag and was
Mhm.
like, I will not let go. And I wasn't able to catch her because my back's bad, so I had a novice person catching her.
Oh
And
no.
and so she literally came away with this massive piece of plastic bag in her mouth, like she had won the freaking world. And
Hmm.
I brought the freaking bag home because I was like, damn, if she had drive like that in Barn Hunt, like
Hmm.
she would be so fast and insane. And I'm totally gonna try it. I'm totally gonna try pairing the bag with
Hmm.
the Barn Hunt tubes. But that is prey drive. Bitch wants to
Hmm.
kill that bag.
Yeah, which is funny because Jackson also loves that sport.
But he
I
just
mean,
wants to
just
run.
loves it, but he loves the full on,
Yeah.
full body
Yeah.
sprint of opening up his body. And when he gets to the end and you're like a person's
Yeah.
there and the bag's there, he's not going after the bag. He's like, oh
Yeah.
hey, my people are here. What's up?
Yeah. And Trin's like, murder.
Oh, when did you get here? Help me murder this.
Oh my gosh. Jer and I were joking around this weekend. What if Trin is like Groot, But the only word that she says is murder with different inflections. So he was like laying and she was like laying on his chest and she was laying there and she was like kind of like giving him sweet little licks and he goes murder. I was like so wrong. So wrong. But it's really funny. But anyway, I'm curious about that. I feel like it's a neat little experiment,
Yeah.
because she really truly wants to kill that thing.
Yeah. Which I do think is also an interesting point as you can have different drives that show up the same way. So so Jackson's drive is not to murder, it's
Yes.
just to run. Hers is to murder the thing,
Yes.
but they're both having so much fun and doing so well
Oh,
in
that's
the same
true.
exact sport, doing the same exact thing. It shows up exactly the same way.
Just a different motivation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. Huh. Drive is very interesting.
Isn't it interesting?
Uh,
And I don't think Jackson's drive in Barn Hunt is necessarily a prey drive because he saw the
yeah.
rat and he play about at it and barked at it and tried to get it to play with him and he was like,
No, I think
and then
that's
when it went in the tube it was like he was like,
uh,
oh, the rat's gone, bummer. I think he enjoys using his nose,
yep.
and I think that's what drives him to find them.
I think the drive for him, the drive to scent and the
Mhm.
reward that comes with it is his
Yeah,
motivator in Barn Hunt. And it's why
yeah.
he's very good.
And he looks very different than a dog with prey drive
Oh my God,
doing
yeah.
the sport.
Yes.
Like he's very methodical. He a very deliberate scratch and a look back at me like this is it.
Yep. But really, like, isn't it so funny when you think about Trin's prey drive in Fast
Other,
Cat? Why does that not transfer to Barn Hunt?
I mean,
Because she can't see the thing, or because there's no chase element?
I would say no chase element,
That's what I think too.
no
So
movement.
so then that makes me be like, every single time bitch finds a rat at practice, I should be running with that tube and getting her to chase it. But I
Oh,
am not fast enough.
oh yeah. And that is a way that some people motivate their dogs is just to
Yeah.
run around with that
Yeah.
tube. Yeah.
Because if I'm trying to build the drive that is within the Fast Cat where she clearly excels beyond, then in my mind, I need to bring in an element of chase.
Yeah. And welcome to how Heather and I problems problem solve
Like,
together.
and here we are, just training
This
our
is
dogs and
exactly
letting you listen. Ooh,
yes.
and I'm gonna make her chase the tube with the bag.
Ooh, that's pretty fun.
Yeah. You know what's really funny too is that okay, well, this is supposed to be a short episode, but that I thought this was really cute. So I sent her breeder a picture of her with the bag not it was out of her mouth because the person at the gate was like, she's gotta eat it. And I was like, she's not. But her breeder instantly sent me a picture back of Trin's mom with bag in her mouth.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yes. Yes, from Sprinter, which is Fast Cat in
Okay.
Canada. Yeah, I thought it was so funny. And I was like, oh, she is her mother's daughter.
Genetics matter.
Right? It's so funny.
It's funny.
Oh, so those are our thoughts on Drive.
Hopefully that clears up some of the terminology we were just so casually throwing around.
Yeah, and it maybe gives you something a little bit to think about, like what motivates your dog, what drives your dog, and are there ways that you can work with that, to
Mhm.
make things more interesting for you or maybe make life easier for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. If you've enjoyed this episode, subscribe, rate, and share us wherever you get your podcasts. Also, come on over to Instagram and engage with us at Sometimes There's Side Eye.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Talk to you next time.
Bye.
Bye.